Hello there everyone, I'm Tara Jones from Peaceful Solutions, and we're going to be going back into something I've wanted to do for a while now called Logical Training Talks. And right now it's actually snowing outside and it's been winter and the weather is really not good for riding, so I thought what better time to settle down, stay warm, and talk about some techniques, some talks, some things and topics that I really wanted to go over to help you with your training, with your confidence, with your riding ability, and with all of the questions that I'm often asked during my busiest times of the year. So today the topic that I wanted to go over was positive with purpose. Wow. We can think of a million different positive things that you could do in your riding to change what you're currently doing, to change your purpose, to find your purpose, to find your meaning. But one of the things that really holds true is to know what your purpose really is. And for me, I have to carry this over into my regular part of my everyday life. You know, we're all busy. We wake up and we have our coffee, or we get our kids ready for school, or we get packed lunches, or we, get our husbands off to work. Or some of us just go out to the barn and get our horses all situated, or we have animals to take care of, or kids to get off to school. We have so many different things that we have to do on a daily basis that sometimes we just have to stop and think, what is the purpose of what we're doing? And as simple as that question might be, it's something that we need to carry over into our horses' training. So one of the things that I like to go over is I want to know what my purpose really is. So as simple as that might sound, knowing my purpose really is going to help me to define what I need to do as a trainer to become better, not only for myself, but for my horses and also for my students that I teach every day. So let's just go over a few things that can help you to understand what your purpose is. One of the things that I always emulate to my students is I always tell them to set goals. And while this might seem simple in reality, what it is really something that you need to sit down and do, whether it be to write them down, to put them in concrete on paper. And I always encourage this because once it's written, it is there. So that way you have something to refer back to, you have something to look at as you grow or as you become better at something that you had a bigger purpose for. But for me, I always like to set goals, and setting those goals gives you a plan. That plan is going to then in turn give you more purpose, more meaning. So some of the things that you can do are write down some short-term goals, some things that you know you can attain quite easily, and then follow those up with intermediate goals, something that is a little bit more distant, something that needs a little bit more time and effort put into it. And then I always follow up with I call them reach for the star goals, something that I don't think is really obtainable, might be kind of out there, but maybe, just maybe, if I know my purpose, I can help to reach those unreachable goals. As I've gone through my education and my journey, one of the things I always do is keep my education ongoing. And that really means finding a reliable person, somebody that you can really trust, somebody that you can really share the things that make you fearful, someone that's going to help push you, to help give you direction. And for me, that's been many different people during my riding career, all of them for different reasons at different points in time. Now, why everybody can't be positive in this experience, there are some times in my career where I've learned from negative experiences as well. You're going to make mistakes, and it's part of riding and training, so don't think that you're not. And when I go through some of the things that I go through on a daily basis, believe me, I want to throw in the towel too. There's been many times I've wanted to quit, but I just keep going because that drive and determination to succeed is always there. And always, I'm looking for my greater purpose. Another really important thing that you need to do is you need to make a plan, but you need to make that plan and set it in motion. This is probably something that's the funniest part of my career, but sometimes I feel like I'm running after my students, chasing after them, going, would you just go? Go do the things that you're meant to do. Go do the things that you have written down. Take that risk, take that chance. Don't just write it down on a piece of paper and not do anything about it. But work towards the goals to get you there. Have purpose, have meaning to get you to the point where you need to go. So on paper, goals are just goals, but you need to set aside the steps that are actually going to get you to those goals. That's the hard part. So anything that helps you, whether it be a buddy at the barn, whether it be taking constant lessons because you need that extra push or that motivation, so be it. We all learn in different ways and different types of learning. For me, it's always been ongoing education. That's what keeps me going. So learning from a higher person, and I mean higher person by somebody who's a lot more educated than what I am, who can bring my purpose to a whole different level, to make more professionalism in my training, to give me something that's more highly attainable to go after, something that's a challenge. That's what thrills me as a trainer. Something that I can't easily get every day. That's what I want to get better at. So let me help you by telling you what my actual purpose is as a trainer. And believe me, I really had to sit down and think about this because it's so easy to get caught up in what other people are doing or feel like I'm not adequate enough and that I don't quite measure up. I go through the same things that you do, whether it be you don't quite feel like you can conquer a task, or you don't quite feel that the horse that you have is right for you, or maybe you don't feel like you'll ever be at the level that you want to be at, whether it's in riding or your everyday job. What is your purpose? And yes, I keep asking this question because it really is important. So I'm going to tell you what my purpose is for my training goals and for Peaceful Solutions, so that maybe it'll shed some light on something for you and help you to distinguish what you need to start learning to do. So I wrote them down, and I'm actually looking down at them because I need to do these in order. And sometimes when I go to actually speak, the words don't come out quite as good as I want them to. So I actually want to really get my words that I wrote down from right in my head and pass them on to you so that you can kind of understand and generate more of a feeling of exactly what you want to go after and what your purpose is. So I think I could pretty much narrow down the whole reason why I am a horse trainer, why I keep pursuing my goals, why I keep doing this, and it's going to be 20 years this coming year. I think one of the biggest reasons for me is that I want to be the highest form of education for the horse training industry. It has always been something that's been a major goal for me, whether it's the highest form of education for the health of the horse, biomechanics for a rider, saddle fit, balance and movement, anatomy, groundwork exercises, in-hand exercises, competition readiness, rehab, restarting, revamping, lunging exercises, highest form of education for comfort and products that I'm bringing out to students for horses that they can wear with comfort. Anything that I'm pursuing, it's always in the back of my mind that it needs to be at its highest form, and I need to be at my highest form of education for it. And that's something that really pushes and propels me in this business. The second thing that I think I've come to really hone in on and really understand what it is that I need to bring down and really start to accept that this is who I am, is that I'm constantly the voice for the horse. And this almost brings tears to my eyes when I say this, because there's been many times where I've felt that horses need to speak and they can't because it's in the way of what a person speaks. And we sometimes bring our human emotion into play when it really isn't necessary. You know, sometimes we think with our heart rather than our mind. And I'm always the logical thinking cap for my students, which means when they're going to buy a horse that's maybe overfaced for them, it's not going to be a good match. I feel it's my duty to tell them so. Or if I feel like they're going to get hurt with some kind of exercise that they're trying to do with the horse that they're not quite ready to pursue, I'm going to tell them so. Because I feel like I need to be the voice for that horse. The voice for that horse to just tell that person to take a little bit more time to develop an understanding so that they can really become better for the partnership and the communication for the horse itself. And that I'm not going to apologize for over the years. And I've really become better at just being okay with being the voice for the horse. The other thing is that I want to develop my system based on 3 major factors. One is I want to base my system on science, safety, and standards. Now, Science, because it really isn't a matter of so much opinion. I feel sometimes that the horse world is opinion-based, and I'd really rather not get into the opinion. I'd rather go straight to the science. How a horse moves, why it moves that way. I want the scientific backup of why an exercise is good for one horse but not okay for another. I want to understand why gaited horses, thoroughbreds that are race horses, ponies, warm bloods, quarter horses, all of these horses can do amazing athletic endeavors with their body. They can challenge their body to the max, and I want to know why. So for me, the science of it is very, very important. But also the safety factor. And I am totally fine with being that one trainer out there that wants safety above all, because I really think that sometimes horsemen and horsemanship gets a little bit unsafe. So we sometimes get caught in the trap of showboating or showing off, and I'm going to be that person that provides safety above everything else, because I really truly feel like if you aren't safe, it robs people and horses of their confidence. And standards. So the standard of I want the foundation and the fundamentals to always be there. I feel like it's the most important part of training and sometimes is overlooked because we get to competition form or competition level. We get to a higher level with our horses and we suddenly feel like it's not necessary for us to go back to the beginning, for us to review something that's really, really important. And I feel like that needs to be emphasized. So again, I'm going to develop a system based on science, safety, and standards. And the last thing is I want fact and creativity. So I want fact as in I want it always to be truthful. I want to be truthful to myself, to my students, and to every horse that I touch. But I also don't want to be so emphasized on fact that I forget to factor in creativity. Because unless you're being creative, you're kind of doing the same thing every day. And while horse training is repetitive, I feel like horses also want the creative aspect, the creative side, the fun side. So having that nice balance of fact and creativity is going to create an ultimate partnership between people and horses. And I think what factors into that is I would love to be a mentor for younger generations. Now this might be a touchy subject for some, but in my younger years, oftentimes I didn't wear a helmet. And there are some injuries that I am paying for to this day. As I'm not going to sit here and preach that you need to wear a helmet on your head, I am definitely going to be one of those people who does wear a helmet, to be a mentor for the younger generations. And so on and so forth. You know, some of the practices that I see either on social media or some of the things that I see in competition, I always ask myself one question. If there were a younger generation watching this video that I'm putting out, or watching me ride this very horse at this moment, or watching me in this competition, and I'm inspiring them to do something wonderful, would I want them to copy or emulate what I'm doing? And if they did copy or emulate what I'm doing, would they be safe? So I ask myself that question over and over, and it's become very important to me. And that's something that I really want to factor in to what my purpose truly is. So I hope this has helped you develop some more clarity about what you need to do in order to develop a little bit more purpose in your everyday riding. Even if it's just your horse, if you're grooming, or if you're cleaning out a stall, or if you're suddenly just jumping on your horse and you want to learn something new. What is your purpose? So creating a positive purpose can really be ultimately powerful. And isn't that what us equestrians are all about? So I hope this logical training talk has helped you. I hope you've enjoyed this riding journey. And as always, I hope you work hard. I hope you stay true through and through and be the best version of you. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.